Hi CVTV land, welcome back to Tammy's Kitchen. Today the star of our show is going to be the strawberry. We're going to feature 3 dishes for you that feature this wonderful fruit. And the first thing we're going to start with is a strawberry walnut torte. And to get started, I'm going to toast some walnuts, and we're just going to throw these in the oven for 5 to 10 minutes until they're lightly toasted. And then we're going to assemble the rest of the ingredients for our cake. Okay, we're back to start on our cake, and as you can see here, I have a plethora of equipment out here. So this is going to be one of those desserts that really mess up the kitchen and every appliance that you have in it. The first thing I'm going to do is beat 1.5 cups of cream. And we're basically just going to make whipped cream. We're going to beat this until it is stiff. Okay, let's check this. Okay, that is stiff, so we're good. I'm going to try to run this off my beaters. So the next thing we're going to do is grind up the walnuts that we just toasted in the oven. So I'm going to pour those into my food processor with 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm just going to pulse these until they're chopped. Okay, we've ground up our walnuts, and I said chopped earlier, but the recipe really calls for them to be ground, so I've ground them up pretty fine, and we'll set them aside with our whipped cream to fold into our batter later. So to start our batter, I've got 3 eggs, and we have 1 1/4 cups of sugar, and we're going to beat that until it's lemon colored. Okay, that looks lemon colored to me. We're going to add 3 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay, we've got our flour here, and to that I've added 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to add our ground walnut and sugar mixture to that. And that was 1 3/4 cups of flour. I don't know if I said that or not, but okay. So we've got that combined, and we're going to combine this with our eggs and sugar, and we're going to switch off, alternate between the flour and the whipped cream to get that into our batter. I think I'm going to do this by hand instead of using the mixer. I don't want to overbeat this whipped cream. See if I can get all of that off of there. I'm using the folding technique here, just kind of laying the batter over itself so as not to overbeat anything. Okay, our batter's incorporated, and we're going to divide it between 2 9-inch cake pans, and I have lined the bottom of these with wax paper and sprayed them with cooking spray. This is very thick batter, so you're not really going to pour it in. You're going to have to scrape it in. trying to get this as even as possible so that hopefully our layers will be about the same size. Okay, we're going to go into a 350-degree oven for 25 to 30 minutes. The timer's gone off on the oven, so let's check on our cakes. The toothpick test tells the tale, and it didn't stick, so we're going to say those are done. We need to let those cool for 10 minutes, and then we'll take them out of the pan to completely finish cooling. In the meantime, we're going to get started on our second strawberry dish, and that is a strawberry poppy seed salad. And I want you all to brace yourself because this is going to be the closest thing to a healthy dish that you've probably ever seen on this show. So, everybody sit down because we're ready to start here with a cup of light mayonnaise. You can use the real thing if you want, but this is just what the recipe calls for. And this is 2/3 of a cup of Splenda. And 1/4 of a cup of white vinegar. I'm just going to whisk that together. This recipe is courtesy of Stephanie Chrisman, one of my coworkers at Sheraton Valley. She made this salad for a carry-in dinner, and it's really delicious. It's a little bit unusual, and you'll think, oh, I don't know if that sounds very good, but it's really good. You should try it. And I've made it for some family get-togethers, and it was really a big hit. So the last thing we're going to add for our dressing is a tablespoon of poppy seeds. I am not a big poppy seed fan, but they're good in this recipe, and they add a little color to the dressing. So that's all there is to that. And I've got a big dish of greens here. The recipe actually calls for romaine. However, I'm using baby romaine, or you can use like part romaine, part baby spinach. It's whatever you like. I like the dark leafy greens, so that's just the mix that I picked up at this store. We're going to add a pint of strawberries and 1 red onion. And if you think that's too much onion for you, you don't have to put the whole thing in there. It does call for just to leave it in rings, and again, if you don't want that big of a piece in your salad, you can always chop this up more finely. But it makes a really pretty salad too. And then just before you're ready to serve it, top it with your dressing and toss it, and you're good to go. And that's all there is to it. I said, it's a little unusual, but it's very tasty, and again, it's healthy. Light mayonnaise and Splenda, come on now. So we'll get back to the high calorie stuff here in just a minute. Okay, the next thing we're going to make today is a strawberry float. This is what I would just call an old-fashioned float. In this glass, I've got 2 teaspoons of strawberry jam and a little bit of water. Just going to combine those. Make a little strawberry sauce there in the bottom. And to that, we're going to add 3 scoops of ice cream. Those are kind of small scoops. I think maybe I'll put in a little bit more. Okay, then we're supposed to add 1/4 of a cup of strawberries. I added a little sugar to those just to kind of soften them up. And then we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of cream. Cross between a float and a milkshake. And then the last thing we're going to add is some ginger ale. Recipe called for strawberry sparkling water. I'm not sure where you buy that, but not around here anywhere. So I thought this would just give it a little pop. Voila. It's pretty. I bet it's good enough to eat. What do you think? That's pretty good. Should try this one. Okay, we're ready to mix up the frosting for our strawberry walnut torte and have some more cream here in this bowl. Again, the last of the low-calorie recipe is gone, so anyway, 1.5 cups of cream. We're going to beat it until it's stiff. That's better. Okay, now in bowl number 2, we've got a brick of cream cheese, we've got a cup of sugar, we've got 1/8 teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. So we're going to beat that up. I'm going to use the same beaters. They're all going to be added together here at the end anyway. My arm has really gotten a workout today. Okay, so now we're going to fold our whipped cream into this cream cheese mixture. And this is going to be the frosting for our torte. This cream cheese frosting along with the strawberries we're going to add to it, it's going to be really yummy. Okay, our cakes have cooled and now we need to split our layers in half. So I have a really long, sharp, serrated knife. So we're going to very carefully try to cut these cake layers in half. And you know I won't get this even and you know all of that sort of thing, but we'll give it a good effort and it will probably taste just as good even if I don't get this just exactly symmetrical. I'm trying really hard not to cut my fingers too because we don't have time for a trip to the emergency room just right now. Okay. I have one split in half. Now the trick is going to be getting it off without breaking it. There we go. Okay, that worked out pretty good. This looks pretty yummy here. Okay, the first layer we're supposed to frost with 1/2 cup of our frosting. Okay, then we're going to add the second layer. And that we are going to frost with strawberry preserves. We don't want to get this too close to the edge so that it squirts out whenever we add our other layers, because then it'll kind of ruin our frosting that we put on this side. If it'll get in there and kind of make it run. Have red streaks in it. We're splitting our second layer. We managed to get layer number 1 together without a major catastrophe. So hopefully we can get this second one on here. Okay. More cream cheese frosting. Okay, we'll put more strawberries on the top. Okay, and we will use this to frost the sides of our cake. I think I'm going to get a smaller knife because I think I'm going to make a mess with that. Okay, the last step for decorating our strawberry tort is to top that with fresh strawberries. And we're just gonna cut our nice berries in half and arrange them around our cake. Well, not exactly like that, but try to get them in some semblance of order. Okay, and the last thing we're going to do is we're going to melt a little bit of jam and brush over the tops of these just to kind of glaze it and make it pretty. Okay, we've got our strawberry preserves melted, so I'm just going to kind of brush that over the top. This will keep the strawberries nice and shiny. Well, that wraps up our strawberry show for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, even that low-calorie recipe, which you really must try. Try our strawberry walnut tort, and don't forget that delicious float that the kids might get a kick out of. Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to have any of the recipes on today's show, please email us at recipes@ChurtonValley.com. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you around the valley.